Hey everybody, and welcome to the hotly anticipated, let's look at, of the even more hotly anticipated full version of Papers, Please. Previously in a free beta build, which was available for the PC, now available for purchase or pre-purchase on Steam, the Humble Store, as well as GOG. So let's talk about the story of Papers, Please for the few of you who are not familiar with the game, and probably the many of you who have maybe forgotten why this is one of the most anticipated games, at least indie games, that is coming out this summer. So Papers, Please, developed by Lucas Pope, is a border guard simulation where you play as an immigration official in a fictional, like, post-Soviet, or I guess Soviet era, actually, fictional Eastern European nation of Arstatska. People come to you, they give you their documents, passports, permits, entry tickets, etc., etc. You verify whether they are indeed who they say they are, whether their documents are valid, and whether they get access to your country, given a series of rules and conditions dictated by your superiors. Now, when this came out in its free beta build earlier this spring, everybody seemed to have the same reaction, which is like, A, this is mundane, but B, surprisingly, incredibly engaging and fun, and unique, which I think was the main catalyst for this having a greenlight campaign that ended up being successful in only 10 days, which is why this is now available on Steam. So, now available on all of those platforms for $10. And what's new in this version? Well, instead of a 10-day build, this has a full-fledged story mode with 31 days. So you've got to survive for a whole month. Now, true to form, from the initial beta build, or alpha build, I'm not really sure what it was, but every day things get more and more complicated, as you will see as we play a little bit of the story mode here. So to survive for 31 days, very, very difficult. Additionally, there is also this endless mode, which we will play closer to the end of the video, and there's 3 different versions of this. So this is basically adding in an infinite mode, which was a hotly requested feature. So instead of just the story mode where everything is pretty much exactly the same every time, and it does have like its own story, there's surprises that come in, which is why I'm not going to play too much of the story mode. There's kind of neat novelties that will show up as well, but it's always the same every single time, so I don't know how replayable the story is going to be. But there is an endless mode, which I believe has a randomly generated kind of immigrants or people who want to cross the border, and then you can choose, process as many as possible in 10 minutes, game over at first penalty, which means if you make a mistake, you lose, or play until your balance goes negative, which is essentially, you get $5 for every person that comes through, every properly processed passport or immigrant, and you need to still pay for your family to have medicine and stuff like that, and if you get penalties, then you lose money. And also, each of these corresponds to the amount of complexity. So like simplest complexity, a few more documents, staggering amount of documents, absolutely incomprehensible amount of documents. Anyway, let's go back to the main menu. So we're gonna play a little bit of the story mode here. We're gonna play a couple of days exclusively. We'll just start up a new one here as opposed to going to my existing one. And here's the story mode. So it says, congratulations, the labor lottery has gone through and your name was pulled. For immediate placement, report to the Ministry of Admission at Grestin Border Checkpoint. An apartment will be provided for you and your family in East Grestin. Expect a Class A dwelling. Glory to Arstatska, which is something that we will be hearing quite a lot here. So, we're going to walk to work, and for those of you who are unfamiliar with Papers, Please, which I'm assuming is not very many, I'm going to do a brief rundown of the interface here so you understand what's going on. First things first, this is our, workstation right here, and this is a graphical representation, like a first-person perspective of our workstation. So, the most important thing for us right off the bat here is to read this bulletin. Welcome to your new position at Grestin Border Checkpoint. Stamp passport, entry visa, and return documents to entrant. Entry is restricted to Arstatskan citizens only. Deny all foreigners. Glory to Arstatska. Okay, so, on the first day here, only Arstatskan citizens are allowed. We also have this rule book, which we can pull up and see like a regional map. So let's just pull up Arstatska, and what we're going to be checking here is to see if the issuing city on the passport is correct. Now, other important things, we do have month, day, and year down here. This is important to make sure the passports and documents are valid. This is our time, and we work a 12-hour day, so we start at 6 in the morning, I believe, and then at 6 at night, the day is over, and we don't get any more money for processing these people. Let's start letting people in. So we'll open our shutter, and we'll get our stamp out. And if you haven't seen this before, prepare for a totally unique style of gameplay. So someone comes to us. This is Jane Moriarty. Does her face look right? Yeah, that looks pretty much like her. She's born in 44. She is indeed female. Orvek Vonor, which is indeed one of the proper issuing cities, and expiration date is in the future. So you know what? We'll just put the entry visa under there, and the oddly satisfying stamp of approval, and then hand her passport back. Glory to Arstatska. And there's one successful visa processing that we can do here, or person process. So we're just going to essentially rinse and repeat. So now we know that we can't let anybody in who's not from Arstotzka. She's from Impor. Impor is not Arstotzka, so we will simply deny her visa. Now, things are going to start very simple here, but you know, the old analogy is like, you know, you talk to a kid and you're like, would you rather have $5 a day for an allowance or 1 cent a day, but then it doubles on the second day to 2 cents, etc., for a year? And the kid will, this guy's from Republia, so we have to deny it. You know, the kid will almost always say, you know, give me the $5 per day. That sounds like a staggering amount of money relative to the other one. Well, you know, the cumulative effects of increasing complexity also apply to Papers, Please. You know, day one, are they from Arstotzka? Is the issuing city correct? Are their documents valid? That's all you need to know. Day two, you know, we start to get other conditions. This looks good to me. That is indeed what he looks like. Day 3, it gets increasingly complex. Day 15, borderline goddamn impossible for someone with the brain of a primate like myself. So we will let people in here and continue processing visas. So it's going to start more simply, but by the second day here, you will get more and more complexity. It was a mistake to open this checkpoint. So that's something that's worth pointing out, is that this does have a pre-planned story in it. This is not a situation where there's just emergent gameplay, like you make your own emotions from it. This is a situation, these from Impor, where a story has been kind of pre-planned or preconceived by the developer, and it shows up in kind of the same story beats every single time. And, you know, there are negatives to this, because every time you play the story, it's going to be exactly the same. But the positive is that, you know, it allows for a story by design that gives you, you know, deliberate feeling. So this looks right to me. I'm just checking the expiration dates quickly in the issuing cities. So yeah, I think it's kind of a bold decision to make sure that this has a, you know, a pre-planned story mode and also an endless mode, so you kind of get the best of both worlds. So, she's from Arstotzka. East Grestin is indeed an issuing city. This is all fine, as long as that is what she looks like. She looks like she's changed her hair, but that's okay. Sometimes you'll find yourself second-guessing yourself, like, does that really look like the character there? I also want to point out that I really like the art, especially the silhouettes of people, like, walking up. The way that they kind of turn and face you is just kind of an interesting animation. Anyway, most of you are probably familiar with this very basic level gameplay of Papers, Please, because this was an enormous hit on YouTube when it initially came out in its existing build. Okay, so now, you know, that's the end of our first day. We'll do one more day of the story mode, then we'll play a little bit of the endless mode. So this is the other kind of element of Papers, Please that's important, and the element that makes it so much more difficult. So we have a savings of 30 credits. Every person that you successfully process without making an error gives you 5 credits, so we processed 9 today. That gives us 45 credits. And, you know, we lose 20 for rent, 20 for food, and 20 for heat. Now, we could turn these off if we wanted to, but then you can see our family over there on the right side, wife, son, mother-in-law, and uncle, will be increasingly kind of hurt by these actions. If we take away food, they might get sick, they might get hungry. If we take away heat, they might get sick, and they can die. They can get diseases, and, you know, you'll have to buy medicine for them. If you don't buy medicine for them, they can actually die. So this is a game where you're stretching your resources too thin. You have to process people quickly in order to get as much money as possible to keep you and your family alive. However, if you process them too quickly and you start making mistakes, then they will start docking you. So instead of, if you make a mistake and let somebody in who shouldn't come in, they'll say, you know what, okay, we're going to take 5 credits away from you that time, plus you don't get the 5 credits for actually allowing that person, or for processing that person correctly. So it's a game where, you know, you want to go fast, but you also want to be deliberate, but you also, you know, definitely can't afford to make mistakes or it'll hurt you more than it helps you. So let's do one more day of the story mode here, and then we will try out some of the endless mode. So now, here's an example of the increasing complexity. From today, foreigners with a valid passport are permitted to enter. So this is simple. First day was kind of like a tutorialization, let people from Arstotzka in, figure out how to use the stamp newbie. Today, it's like you can allow anybody in. So we also have an inspect mode, which I'll talk about to show discrepancies. But today we're going to be using our rulebook a lot more and pulling up this regional map to make sure people's issuing cities are correct. So let's open up our shutter and start the day off. And we'll probably be seeing a lot of discrepancies, so you can see kind of the interrogation element of Papers, Please. So she's from Impor. We'll open up our regional map. Impor is right here. Highan is indeed an issuing city. She is who she looks like, and the date is okay. So we'll let her through. So you can see, you know, there's a lot of mental checkboxes that you have to tick in order to successfully feel confident about letting someone into Arstotzka. And as the days go on, this doesn't get any easier. So let's check out our regional map. Integria. What was it? Glorian, indeed. Sure, this is fine. He looks like who he says he is, and the passport says he is a male, which is correct. Judging by those Wolverine-like mutton chops anyway. And why don't we let another person through here? Oh, wait! Invalid expiration date. God damn it. Okay, so for the first part, you get no penalty. This is a very strange-looking lady. Okay, we'll put our citation over here. She's from Impor. Sunkaido is the name of the city. So Impor, Sunkaido. Expiration date 7/03/83. That's fine. It says male, though, but this doesn't look like a male. So let's try... We highlighted a discrepancy using our interrogation mode here, and we'll see. You are a man. What is this question? I have to deny it, otherwise I will get a citation. So even though we might just be like a transphobic asshole or something right now, you know, we have to do as duty calls. Let us click on the speaker here. And you also get citations for denying people who shouldn't be denied, by the way. So you can't just deny everybody to protect yourself. Okay, so she's from Arstatska. We know that Orvecht Vonor is indeed a place that is an issuing city because you just remember it. Now, do you trust your memory? That's something that you should think about, I guess, as you play more and more. So that's the first citation I've actually gotten in quite some time. I thought I was being a little bit better at Papers, Please. But you know, the more distractions that you have going on, like speaking, for example, the more likely you are to make a mistake. So she's from Republia, I believe. True Glorian is indeed a right city. That is not... The picture is completely wrong here, though. So is she going to say that she had surgery or something? This does not look like you. The years have been cruel. I have to deny it. Because it appears that she is not who she says she is. So, you know, better safe than sorry, I suppose. And, you know, as more and more complexities kind of get added in, as you have to factor in more and more parameters and qualifications, East Greston is fine. She looks like who she says she is. You know, this is a fairly easy passport to process. I'm going to ignore the document that she sent me because this is kind of a story beat. So, you know, you can figure that out for yourself when you play the game. Basically, she works at a brothel and will... You know, there's more on that will show up later in the game. But I just want to show off the gameplay without spoiling any of the story, or at least more than is possible. Okay, so she's from Obristan. Let's look at our regional map here and load up Obristan. Bostan. Oh! There has been an unfortunate security breach here. Now, this is not my fault. This is just one of the story beats that happens. It's one of the unavoidable ones. There will be a terrorist attack, and that will cause increased... security to heighten, or security to heighten to an increased degree, I suppose is the proper way to phrase that. So that's all I'm going to show off of the Papers, Please story mode, essentially. I've been specifically asked by the developer to not show off past a certain point. That certain point is still a little bit in the distance here. But worth noting, you know, because I processed people very slowly that day, savings 25, salary 25, and all of our amenities cost us 50, so now we have lost our savings. So I'm going to have to start working a lot harder if I'm going to succeed. So we're going to sleep, and then we'll exit back to the main menu here. By the way, I really appreciate some of the options in the game, especially the kind of YouTube-friendly option to turn off nudity. Now, I have not seen any nudity in the game, but, you know, I'm assuming it shows up later if it is indeed here. So I really appreciate that. I think it was very considerate of the developer to put that in. Let's check out one of the endless modes, shall we? Why don't we do a timed mode, because that's going to make for a perfect video length, and we'll do it with this level, the second level of passport and document complexity. So I hope I get kind of a prompt as to what I should look for here, because otherwise I'm just going to have to kind of wing it. Okay, process as many travelers as possible in 10 minutes, 1 point per traveler, lose 30 seconds for each citation. Okay, that's a lot. Let's just check out our rulebook quickly and look at our basic rules. They must have a passport, documents must be current, no weapons or contraband, must have an ID card, foreigners require an entry permit, workers must have a valid work pass, foreigners require an ID supplement, and diplomats require authorization. Jesus Christ. Okay, I am going to make so many mistakes here. Let's call the first person in, and we'll go to the first page of our book here because I'm going to be using this quite often. Okay, so we got this guy here. Okay, first things first. What's the purpose of your trip? I have a job here. He has a work permit that's good until August. He's staying for half a year. His identity supplement. He's got cropped hair. That seems right. Oh my god, I am going to make so many fucking mistakes. Now, Antigria is over here. Is Marmoro, St. Marmoro, right city, good. His documents seem okay to me. He looks like who he looks like, so here you go. Congratulations. Now, I'm going to process like 10 people. Given the kind of advanced nature of this video, that might be enough to put me in a good spot in the leaderboard. We've given him all his documents back. Did I get a citation? Oh my god, what was the citation for? I lost 30 seconds. Invalid name? Okay, that's fine. No penalty except for the 30 seconds that I lost. All right, what about this guy looking here? So his purpose is he's going to work. He's an accountant. He's staying for 12 weeks. His names are exactly the same. His face is hilarious. We know that Haihan is the right city. No facial hair. That's his thumbprint. Expires 1/14/1983. That's okay. That's indeed his name. He's working for. He said he was staying for 12 weeks, which is indeed 3 months. I think this guy is okay to go. I really like Papers, Please as a YouTube-style game as well, because the audience can be sitting there and being like, "No, you fool! He's got a gun." Good. Let's see if this is correct. Good. We got 1 point and successfully processed him there. So we're at least not going to have 0 on the leaderboards. We are already 20% of the way through. Okay, so she's from the United Federation. She's immigrating. She's got dark hair. That's true. 177 cents. Okay, she's immigrating forever. Enter by... Oh, you know what? It's later than the last available enter date here. So let's interrogate her. You cannot enter using an expired document. I could not come until now. Well, you probably should have cleared your schedule if you wanted to immigrate to a foreign country. I apologize, but sadly, you will not be allowed in. Don't take my rule book. You take all this. There you go. All right, so that should be another 1 point. Excellent. It's weird for a game that has this kind of emotional impact to also have this arcade score attack style mode, but I'm indeed glad that it's here. So she's visiting friends. I think it adds a lot of replay value. Short wavy hair, fair enough. She's remaining for 60 days. That's 2 months. She's visiting. Enter by that date, which is okay. Don't foreigners also need something else, though? Foreigners require an ID supplement, and I do not see an ID supplement. Match. Oh, okay. Is she not? Is she an ID supplement? Oh, she does have it. Okay, you know what? This seems good enough to me. Let me get my... sometimes you can feel really overwhelmed by just the visual amount of clutter on your screen. And I think that's a very important design decision to make you feel like you should be moving faster than you actually are, which causes you to make mistakes. It's a very good... I made a mistake. What's the citation for that time? It's a very good simulation of modern work. Oh, invalid issuing city. That's a tough one for me to get. Okay, so she's coming here for work. Food service. She's staying for 1 month. Until 1/3/1983. This is not right. It said she's only staying for 1 month. That's matching data. Okay, let's pull some more stuff. Hey, no, stop. Get out of discrepancy mode. Identity card. Straight hair. Acceptable. 1 month. Enter by 1/6. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. It says like until March, but it says duration 1 month. Oh, okay. Maybe I've made a mistake there. Let's look at her names. Arnia Rosovic, Korista City, so we should go check out, where is she from? United Federation, regional map, United Federation, Korista City. Okay, to the best of my knowledge, you are who you say you are, and all of your documents are valid, so I'll give you this, and then let you come into the country. And I guess I gotta give you all your other documents back as well. Now, please tell me, I'm watching the screen at the top. Good, plus 1 point. We are already halfway towards the end of this. Okay, it's from Arstatska, so she doesn't need an ID supplement. Arstatskan identity card, Christina Perez, Orvek Vonar we know is okay, and the issuing date is okay as well. The birthdays are the same, so I think that she should be allowed to come in. I am probably contributing to the degradation of our nation by making all these mistakes, but that's okay. Glory to Arstatska, right? There's another plus 1 point. All right, that was an easy one. We've gotten 4 points in 6 minutes. My family would starve if this was the story mode. Okay. So, visiting friends from Republia. Bobbed hair, that is indeed correct. Christina Odin, that's correct. Visiting for 2 months. Enter by that date, which is fine. Passport's okay. We know True Glorian is okay. Expires 1/07/83. That's fine as well. We will approve you. And I hope that that's correct, although I'm interested to see if I made a mistake. I thought True Glorian was for sure a... minus 30 for what? I thought True Glorian was for sure a proper issuing city. Oh, wanted criminal admitted. How am I supposed to know that? Okay. She's overweight. That's kind of a nasty identity supplement, but okay. We all have problems. She's visiting friends for 1 month. She does indeed look like that. The issuing date is fine. She's entering on an okay date, and I think this is okay. I like the Obristan passports. They had a nice little kind of nobility to them. Now we've entered. Let her enter. Minus 30 again. Oh my god. I really should have gone with the simplest amount of documents. Invalid height and invalid thumbprints. Good god. Okay. Let's try this again. If I can get to 5 points, I will be a happy camper. I really thought 10 would be the baseline. This is Ringo Starr trying to enter the country. He's entering to visit for 12 weeks, which is 3 months. That's fair. He's entering by the right date. Thumbprint is okay. 169 centimeters, 78 kilograms. Oh, we can see the scale down here. I actually did not notice that. 78 kilograms. Everything here looks fine to me. Antigua, St. Marmaro. We know that that is a correct issuing city. Why are all these people trying to get into my country anyway? I don't know. Why don't you stay in your own country? I don't know. Maybe that's offensive. Oh my god, I made another mistake. This is the worst example of Papers, Please play that I've ever seen. So we're getting assessed credit penalties, but it doesn't really matter. Okay. Antigua, Glorian. Wait a minute, is that right? Antigua. It's true Glorian. Oh, okay, Glorian's fine. He's got a mohawk. Thumbprint looks fine. His weight's correct. Lazar Panev. Panev, that's his name. He's immigrating forever. He's entered by the right date. That's a citation. Does he not? Oh, there's his permit. Okay. I think this is okay. It has a proper... His passport number matches. We've got 6 seconds left, so we should just try this. Like I said, if I can get to 5, I'll be happy. There you go. I've given you all the documents, and... I guess we didn't get any point for that last one. Oh, it was a citation anyway. Okay, I got 4 points. I suck. Rank number 1, though, so suck on that anyway. That is some representative gameplay of the new and complete version of Papers, Please. It's available on Steam for $10. Do yourself a favor, buy Papers, Please. I haven't really talked too much about whether or not you should buy the game. It's totally unique. It's a ton of fun, even though it might seem completely mundane. And it's one of those games that I think people are really gonna it's one of those games that people are going to reference in the future. They're going to be like, oh, it's kind of like Papers, Please, in the same way that I'd say, you know, Papers, Please is kind of cart life-ish, sort of. Beyond the fact that I think it's a significant game from an artistic standpoint and a totally novel and unique game, it's just a lot of fun to play, and I think the Endless Mode adds a lot of replayability. So for $10, I think you're getting a really good value here. I think a lot of people are going to have a ton of fun with this game, and if you want to pre-order it, there will be a link in the video description to pre-order it on Steam. Again, $10. I think the price is definitely right on this one. As always, thanks for watching, everybody. This has been Let's Look at Papers, Please, and I will see you next time.